Homocysteine is a chemical sandpaper. When the homocysteine rises, it's like taking sandpaper to the inside lining of the blood vessels. The road becomes rougher and less efficient. So now imagine delivery trucks, all these delivery trucks driving on a rough highway.
I ended up being diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and it was so bad where I was going to the bathroom like literally 20 times a day. I was eating saltine crackers and water, and I was going 20 times a day to the bathroom. So I go see this doctor. He's like, have you ever thought of being on a gluten-free diet? In doing that, by removing the gluten, everything went away.
Wow.
The bathroom break stopped.
Okay.
I felt happier again. All the inflammation in my face went down. I was like, oh my God.
Plateaus suck. I don't care if you're weightlifting or running. When you get to the point where you can't go any further, it's frustrating. You want to be able to go further. So
I have a fun tip that we give all our clients. After every meal, especially that you're glucosing your A1C, you're trying to get it down, do 20 squats. Forget the walk. The walk takes 20 minutes. Just do 20 squats.
I stopped on my birthday that year, which is the end of the year, December 28th. I stopped taking all medication and went keto. Didn't say anything to the doctors. And I came back in and it was 7.9. And they were like, oh my God, it went back up, because on the medication, it was down in the 3s. When I got back up to 7, and they was losing it. They was like, it's going back up. The medicine is not working. I'm like, the medicine is not in me. And I did it.
Podcast twins, and we are on location just the way Vince likes it. We've got the ladies Priscilla and Mercedes from Get Nourishment. We actually bled for you guys this month.
Literally.
We gave up 12 vials of blood, full blood panels. Vince, tell them.
Okay, before we get started, once again, we want to thank everybody that's already subscribed, but we did our back office work and we found out that a lot of people are watching the show that have not yet subscribed. So if you could just take 5 to 10 seconds, go down, click the subscribe button on YouTube, hit the little bell icon so you get all the notifications when we have a new episode coming out. And don't forget all the platforms, Spotify, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Just make sure you follow all of those things. We got short movies, we got shorts, we got everything. Reels, whatever they got, we got them.
And
so make sure you do that.
If you need those links, just go to podcasttwins.com. So,
one-stop shop.
We're here at Get Nourishment. Thank you, Priscilla and Mercedes, for inviting us down here and taking all our blood. We're excited to find out how healthy we are and what we need to do to get healthier. So,
or healthy we're not.
Okay.
So
we're
going to rock and roll here. So once again, ladies, thank you for having us here. And I think it took my brother here about 3 days to recover from giving that much blood.
At least.
At least.
They said I was angry that day, allegedly.
Yeah. We banned him from giving that much blood ever again.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So,
oh, man.
But we did get a complete panel, and it was very exciting when we started talking about this, just to see, being as though we do a lot of nutritional talk, a lot of health issues, how to actually match your blood type with whatever vitamin, mineral deficiencies, all of that good stuff, supplement recommendations. Tell us what it is that you do here at Get Nourishment. Let the people know.
Yes, so Priscilla here, mother-daughter duo, and this is Mercedes. I'll let her kick it off.
So before we get started, I want to give a quick disclaimer.
Oh boy.
We have to.
Here comes the attorneys.
We are certified nutrition coach and wellness coaches and not physicians. So our role is to diagnose, treat, not to diagnose, treat, or cure any type of diseases. My job is to use objective data, such as blood work. That's why these guys here are talking about the blood work that they did. So along with nutrition, lifestyle, habits, recovery, sleep, exercise, and targeted supplementation to help our clients make informed decisions about their health. So I'm going to turn it over to Priscilla, why we started Get Nourishment.
Yeah, you want to start there?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
After that, we should dive right in.
Geez.
I got my blood work. I haven't looked at it at all.
I want Priscilla to tell us about it.
Yes.
I can turn it around.
Tell us about you and then
a little
go
bit
into
about
there.
the story.
So Get Nourishment started because of my story. And it started when I was really young. I had a slew of health issues that happened throughout my life, and we can never figure it out. It started with skin conditions, being in a hospital all the time, not understanding. And the biggest downfall, because my mom was so big on nutrition, like I love babysitting because I would be able to have chips and Coca-Cola and Sprite and be like, oh, what is this one? Fanta? What is that? So at our home, we never had that. So it was like, Mom, where's all the food? Everything had to be cooked fresh. So when college came about, I was introduced to alcohol, fourth meal at Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. So I had so much fun with all the foods, and my health ended up declining. And it was so bad where I had styes all the time. I was projectile vomiting so bad that all the blood vessels in my face would pop. So I'd be filled with red dots. And my skin was so bad. It was always inflamed. I always had bumps everywhere. I would break out so bad, specifically here all the time. I don't know why. But
we call that the reindeer dot.
I hated that one.
The Rudolph one.
And you always want to touch it.
Yeah,
like, don't touch it. So, it got so bad. And so my mom, she happened to go to a work event, and she overheard someone talking about making sure they had gluten-free foods there. So she approached me and she's like, hey, I think you should try a gluten-free diet. Maybe this will help alleviate some of the things that you've been going through. And I did that for 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, I was like, wow, I feel so much better. I can think. Mind you, I'm saying now think because they wanted to put me on, actually, they ended up putting me on Ritalin. Because I had ADHD, and they were like, you can't focus. And I struggled in school. And so I was like, wow, I could think clearer. I feel better. I'm happier. I'm not bloated. I'm like 18, 19 years old, and I go get tested, and they do the test on my back on the prick. And the guy's like, literally told me, your mom is over-exaggerating, and you're making this up. Like, you're being dramatic. So you can go back to eating gluten. You don't have a gluten allergy.
Wow.
Mind you, when you are on a gluten-free diet, it doesn't show up on the test.
Okay.
Because you don't have it in your system. So I was like, Mom, you're crazy because I'm 18 and I know everything. And I'm going back to eating gluten. I'm eating my burgers, my pizza, all of it. And my conditions ended up worsening, where I ended up waking up one night with horrible pain on the side of my belly. And so we're thinking your appendicitis is going to be removed. Something's being removed. I ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks with a seizure, and nobody could figure it out. My platelets, or my white blood cell count, was really high. What else was it that showed up?
Iron super low.
Yeah, my iron, it was so bad. But they couldn't figure it out. And they're like, well, you're healthy now. You're good. You're living, breathing. Off you go. I kept living life as is, and, drinking, having fun, eating everything. And I ended up being diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And it was so bad where I was going to the bathroom like literally 20 times a day. I was eating saltine crackers and water. And I was going 20 times a day to the bathroom. Like, I lived at home. I was like, I can't leave my house. I'm going to the bathroom all the time. And so finally, my mom was like, you need to go see a doctor now. It's just like 2 weeks of you, like, you're going to get dehydrated. You're going to get really sick. So I go see this doctor, and such a nice guy. He's like, have you ever thought of being on a gluten-free diet?
Again. Here it comes, full circle.
And I was like, well, I did that, but the doctor said I was crazy and that
it was working too well, and he wanted to give you drugs. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
he's like, I think you should get back on that. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. Well, back then, what was this? Like, I'm 40. Oh my God, I'm 40 this year. This is like 20 years ago. So back then, there was nothing gluten-free. Nobody really knew about it. Nobody believed in it.
Right.
So I lived off of gluten-free pizza and gluten-free Oreos. And they were called glutinos back then. So, but in doing that, by removing the gluten, everything went away.
Wow.
The bathroom breaks stopped.
Okay.
I felt happier again. All the inflammation in my face went down. I was like, oh my God. So I started diving into cooking because there was no gluten-free options other than pizza and Oreos. I was doing that for like a week or two. I'm like, for how long am I going to live like this? So I started cooking, and again, I ended up having another problem with my health. They didn't diagnose me with arthritis, but it felt like it because every week I had a different joint pain.
Yeah.
I was like, Doc, what is happening to me? Like, I'm not in so much pain. He goes, lay off on the weights. I'm 30 years old. I'm like, what do you mean lay off on the weights? I don't even do weights like that. I'm not doing CrossFit or anything. So it was the inflammation that was building up in my system. And we didn't do anything about it. We were just like, you know what, whatever. I'll just clean up a little bit of my diet.
Right.
what was the turning point and the root of Get Nourishment was my miscarriage. So before my first baby and my firstborn. And I named her Amelia because I like dreamt of her a lot. She was a little girl and she's beautiful. And oh my God, I'm gonna cry. So anyways, she when that happened, the doctors, which it does happen, you know, sometimes it's a bad egg or whatever. And he's like, don't worry about it. If it happens again, we'll think about it in vitro or whatever. Like it's nothing. This happens all the time. But I just knew it was something that I did wrong. Something in my body that was not right. And I couldn't shake that off. So I approached my mom. Thankfully, she was already going down the path of, because she's always been a health nut, health freak. And so she was already going down that path. And here I come, like, Mom, I need your help. Kids, it takes a lot for us to be like, Mom, help me.
Right.
So she's like, all right, let's do this. Let's start. I'm going to get into this deeper. And she started becoming certified and meeting with functional doctors. And it was amazing, all the information that we learned, that we were able to heal me. I lost the inflammation. I lost the bloating. I felt better. All the pain went away. And it was just in time for my wedding. And so I was like, oh, this is great. I lost the weight, whatever. We have a baby. We're pregnant right away. We have a successful pregnancy. It was so crazy to think that it's going to be successful, and it was. And here I am now turning 40. My inner age is like 26, 28, and I have 2 babies, and I'm thriving, and I'm so happy. And that's when Mercedes, I was working at corporate America, and she goes, you know what? I remember my son was 8 months old. She's like, let's help more people like we did you. Let's do this. Let's make, this is our passion. Let's leave corporate. Let's do what we love to do. And that's how it transpired.
Podcast twins, and today we're getting healthier with Purium products, Vince.
Man, let me tell you something. I've been on this product for about a month right now, and I'm going to tell you, I'm really picky about the type of products that I like to put in my body. You know that. And when you read the ingredients on here, nothing makes you feel better than knowing that you're putting actual premium products in your body.
No glyphosate, all organic. It's been tested to the 1,000,000th degree, and the amino acids are the bomb.
Everything. I'm telling you, the whole formula, the nighttime formula, the biome, everything. I feel amazing taking these products. So I definitely recommend it.
If you want to keep getting healthier like we are, just click the link below. You'll get a discount on your first order, and you'll thank us later.
Peace.
Okay. That's a cool story. Thank you.
Story.
I am surprised I was able to.
Yeah, I love it. No, but I mean, look, we always talk about what's your why. So you had a very strong why. You had a very strong support system. She wasn't going to quit until she found something that was going to help.
Oh yeah, no.
So that's an amazing thing. And so why not take what she found and what you guys worked on together? Because basically you were the experimental dummy at that point, just like we are now. And
Vince loves being a guinea pig.
Yeah, I love
These are our next nutrition coaches. This is a turning point.
That's
moonlight as nutrition
moonlight
coaches
for sure.
sometimes, right?
But no, that's good. I'm glad. And so now I'm glad to hear that you said you turned something that you found to be successful for you, and why not help share it with somebody else. And probably the most important thing you said is you probably saved your own life getting the hell out of corporate, because most people I know, they burn out like a match. So.
I was in sales, so yeah.
Oh yeah, so there you go.
She worked with Eric at ADP.
And there you go.
Oh, yeah.
All right, my man.
And I just met him.
Okay. Awesome. Well, hey, listen, let's get into it. So
Let's do it.
tell the people what it is that you had us do, and let's dive right in.
Yeah.
So the greatest thing is that, yes, we learned a lot. Just like she said, I have always, all my life, been a nutrition nerd. I love everything that has to do with nutrition. I feel that, you know, when food is medicine, and when you use food as medicine, you can actually feel your greatest. So just like she said, I never had any food in the house. I had real food.
Yes.
But for them, I didn't have any food at the house. But today, one of the things that I love about is that we're going to be able to read your blood work. So this is exciting. So I just want to touch back on, we do not diagnose, treat, or cure any diseases.
You don't have to do the disclaimer more than once. Once is plenty.
so-
Yeah,
Second
once is
disclaimer.
plenty.
Second disclaimer.
So, but this is going to be super interesting because I'm going to dive first into Drew's blood work. So one thing that I love about blood work is that it reminds us that health is personal. So
But
Two
individuality
people.
matters.
In
Even
this
though we're
case-
twins, we got
Yes.
different.
Oh
blood.
yeah, I had to ask him because I was like, you never know. I was
Yeah,
like,
because we're
please
identical.
correct me.
So,
Identical.
All right.
twins.
Yeah.
I have a
Identical.
better beard and Vince has a better tan.
That's
That's
it.
how you can
That's
tell
how
us
hair.
apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
so
Exactly.
So two people can have completely different lab patterns, even though they are twins.
right.
But while they are both trying to optimize their health, they can have two totally different blood work patterns.
Okay.
So when I review your blood work, Drew, one
Well,
thing
first
that
off,
I
your
saw,
diet. What's your diet consist of
It's
right now?
mainly keto now. I
It's-
go
Okay.
back and forth between carnivore and keto. I do
Okay.
mix a few carbs in there sometimes, but it's
What are your
not-
carb
it's
choices
mainly-
usually?
like sweet potatoes.
Okay.
You know, I'll make them into chips or beet chips or
Okay.
stuff like
That's
that.
pretty
you know.
cool.
But yeah, I eat green vegetables and fruit. You know, fresh fruit.
Okay.
Also, in addition to my 80% carnivore.
I remember after your labs or before you did your labs, you're like, okay, right after, because I told you you had to eat, you're like, I'm going to go home and have steak
I
and
had
bacon and eggs.
I
and-
had a ribeye and eggs that morning, and a few strips of bacon. Absolutely, I was starving.
yeah,
That's how we live.
yeah.
Yep.
So when I review your blood work, one thing that stand out is the story about your metabolism, your blood sugar regulation, inflammation, and hormone optimization. So that's what I'm going to focus on.
Okay.
So your story. So the first
I love that,
area
your story.
that stood out to me, which when I saw you last, you actually said, "Don't tell me about my LDL because I don't believe in that."
I
So-
believe that it exists. I
The
just, I
first-
know,
We're gonna-
I know from Dr.
we're gonna-
Boshever that.
We're going to debunk it in a way.
Okay.
Okay.
You can try and debunk.
So
it.
the
Let's go.
first area that
Makes
we are
sense, okay.
going to focus on is going to be on your high LDL.
Okay.
Okay.
So I like to explain LDL differently than you used to. I think of LDL as the delivery trucks.
Okay.
So these trucks carry important cargo throughout the body. They transport cholesterol used to make hormone repair cells, support the brain, and provide you energy. Now, because Drew follows a keto and carnivore diet, seeing more delivery trucks on the road isn't necessarily surprising.
And
The
it's not
real
necessarily
story
bad.
or the real question is, it isn't about how many trucks are on the road. The question really is what condition the roads are in.
All right.
Okay. All right.
So this is where another biomarker called homocysteine comes in.
Vince must know about that because he's smiling.
The homocysteine is a chemical sandpaper.
That's the analogy she likes
That's
to
the
use. for it.
analogy that I'm using. When the homocysteine rises, it's like taking sandpaper to the inside lining of the blood vessels. The road becomes rougher and less efficient. So now imagine delivery trucks, all these delivery trucks driving on a rough highway. The issue isn't necessarily the trucks, the LDL. The issue is the condition of the road. So what I like to do as a nutrition coach, my goal isn't just to focus on less trucks on the highway. My goal is to improve the road conditions.
Okay.
All right.
So one of the ways we support that process is through methylated B vitamins,
All right.
which helps the body recycle the process, homocysteine more efficiently.
Okay.
So when people ask me what's my favorite food, it's liver,
Okay.
beef,
Beef
liver.
Beef liver.
Okay.
Absolutely.
My half a cow is on the way, so
can-
I'll
I
have
can-
some.
Oh, you
liver.
did that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got to talk about that later.
I
Oh,
can
yeah.
agree
We could
with
do a
the-
whole
the
one and we
liver.
could just split.
Yeah.
You can have.
I call liver the most amazing multivitamin. It literally has everything you can think of. So for someone that follows a keto and carnivore diet, liver provides many of the B vitamins, vitamin A, choline, and minerals needed to support these pathways.
And that makes the sandpaper less
That
sandpaper.
means the sandpaper
Your road.
less smooth.
Smooth
yes,
roads.
smooth roads.
Okay.
So more trucks on the
We
driveway.
like a smooth road.
All
with a
right.
lot of
So essentially,
trucks.
the LDL, when it's high, it makes you look at or question what else is happening for this
She
to be
made
high.
my day. She told me to eat more beef. I'm already. Keep going. I like that.
So-
That's a good. You're off to a great start.
So I call. So now the second area that I saw that stood out was your vitamin D.
All right.
So I think we all know as vitamin D is very important for bone health, but it influences the immune system, the hormone production, the muscle recovery, energy production, and overall wellness.
All right.
So imagine buying the newest smartphone, but never updating the software.
Okay.
The phone still works, but it doesn't perform as efficiently as it could, right? So that's why low vitamin D can look like. That's exactly what it looks like.
It's interesting that I have low vitamin D because I'm outside all the time.
All
and I
day.
would have figured
It's
it
not
would be
enough
Could be genetic.
Okay.
So Drew's vitamin D
Really
levels
quick,
was lower than I expected.
All right.
And then we all thought probably, and even you that you're saying that it's pretty weird that your vitamin D is low.
Yeah.
I could have sworn I read somewhere that the butt cheeks absorb.
I guess
Vitamin
I
D
gotta
better.
go play.
So one of our goals.
I like it.
Just your butt cheeks.
Well, so I need to get pants like Prince had, right?
Yeah.
Booty cheeks out. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Matter of fact, order that. It's gotta be on Amazon. I gotta be able to have that.
We don't advertise for Amazon. They don't pay us.
They
Screw
don't, but
Amazon.
I do need the pants with the booty out. Go.
So one of the best ways actually to, in your case, to bring up the vitamin D is to take a supplement,
Okay.
vitamin D and K.
Yeah, she
And
says
then
K2 because
the
it helps absorb
operating
it better.
system.
Yes.
Got it.
And with fat.
D3 and K2.
With a fatty meal.
That's
Fatty
all we-
meals,
that's
Not
all we
fatty
do.
meal like
Fatty
pure
meals.
pork, but just it has to have some fat in it.
Beef.
Yeah, beef.
Ribeye has lots of fat.
Yeah.
That's best fat in the
Yeah.
world.
That way it's bioavailable,
Pecan
meaning your body
also.
absorbs it.
The guy,
Yeah.
I got it. Nice and easy.
Big fat brisket.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Go on.
Go.
The third area that stood out in your blood work was the thyroid function.
Okay.
So I call the thyroid the body's thermostat. So the thermostat helps regulate your metabolism, energy production, recovery, body temperature, and overall performance. So when I review your thyroid, actually most of the markers look great. And then we go behind and we look at the reverse T3.
Okay.
The reverse T3 is a biomarker and I call it the emergency brake. So imagine driving a car where your foot is on the gas pedal, but somebody's pulling on the brake. It's not going to drive as efficiently, right? So the body often does this during periods of stress, under recovery, inflammation, nutrient deficiencies, and sometimes it's an adaptation to a long-term or very low carb diet.
I have that, so that makes sense. This story checks out.
Very good.
So now we know that we have beef liver. You also need to supplement with a B complex just to support
All right.
the homocysteine. Then the D supplementation is going to bring up your levels to where they need to be.
Okay.
And now your phone is working properly.
He does like 5,000 IU a day. I think that should be.
That means nothing to me. So you gotta
No.
explain it to me like I'm a 10-year-old. You
Yeah.
just made up some words.
And
Sorry.
now,
You have to explain
That's why
that-
she does
you have to
this.
explain that to me in English.
That's why she
now.
does this because she simplifies it.
What, you got it? You got this?
The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change Mercedes' name to Analogy.
oh yeah,
I love the analogy.
She has
I love
to
the
with
analogy
labs because
it's
so
the
hard
way
to
that you can understand it.
I
No, it's
Yeah.
good.
I'm
It's
one
a
way to
good way
understand
to
it.
understand it. So
Analogy.
So, but what did you say? What you just said again?
5,000 IU, it just means the
International
quantity.
units.
Yeah, it meant it
Okay.
talks to it speaks to the amount.
because the
That
vitamin
water
D is so low,
that
it's
it
the
doesn't matter
dose.
at all. It's a dose.
Oh,
That's
Just
okay.
a normal
yeah.
dose.
All right. So what
For
kind
me,
of what,
that's low.
what kind of other
What kind of
carbs
carbs?
do you recommend?
So I would say, just like you said, sweet potato,
Okay.
Butternut squash.
butternut
Spaghetti
squash. Spaghetti squash is not a starchy carb. Maybe brown rice,
Okay.
black rice,
So
quinoa.
It's good if you.
But you don't eat it in
cook it with
abundance.
chicken broth.
Yes, it is.
Tastes amazing. And a little bit of
But
olive
you
oil.
don't eat
Oh
it
my
in
God.
abundance either.
yeah.
This is just some carbs that you just have to add just to
Every now and
have a
then.
more balanced diet,
all right.
Okay.
probably every day.
We can take that. Okay. All right. That didn't feel so hard.
The final marker that I like to talk about is going to be your hematocrit.
Okay.
So another analogy
Here comes
here.
the
Here's the
analogy.
Greek word.
Let's go.
Love
All
it.
right.
So the hematocrit is how thick your blood is.
Okay.
In your case, yours was elevated,
Too thick.
too thick. So think about making a smoothie.
Okay.
If you add too much liquid in your smoothie, it flows easily through a straw.
Right.
But if you remove most of that liquid, it's not going to go through the straw. Basically, that's what's happening. So what we have to do when you are in a keto or carnivore diet, actually you become more dehydrated because you become more insulin resistant or you become insulin sensitive, which is where we all want to be. Where I want Vince to be.
Can you give them the difference between resistant and sensitive while you're speaking on it right quick for my people?
So now what I like to do is add electrolytes.
Well,
Here, I'll speak to it. So
just
really
because
quick,
that's a very good topic out there that a lot of people are confused about. Sensitive and so.
So in simple terms, because I talk to a lot of our clients about the glucose, I love the glucose monitor. So basically your pancreas, it releases a hormone called insulin. Insulin's job is to remove the glucose out of the blood because when it sits in the blood, that's why there's diabetes and all those.
Right.
When it sits in the blood, it's toxic. But at the same time, it's energy. So, but it only becomes energy when the insulin removes it and now gives it to the blood cells, the fat cells, and everybody needs it, and muscle cells. Now, that's insulin sensitive, right? It knows.
That's
it's like,
insulin resistant. Insulin sensitive is, in this case, what you are, which is what we want. We want to be the more insulin sensitive, the healthier you are.
Okay.
So that is insulin sensitive.
Okay.
Now, insulin resistance happens when there's an influx of glucose in the bloodstream. So much so, and then there's no movement, so there's nowhere to bring that energy, right? So it takes it out, but it only takes what it needs.
Right.
So if you're not active and you're overloading on carbs and sugar with no movement, now there's an influx of glucose in your bloodstream. Your insulin doesn't know what to do because it only takes out what it needs. So now it just sits there.
Right.
So then your pancreas is being notified that this is happening, and it says, "Hey, you need to go out and do your job." And it's just like, "What job? Nobody wants to eat.
Right.
Nobody needs anything." So that's where then, as time goes on, it becomes so bad because the pancreas starts throwing out more insulin, more like crazy person. Like, you need to do your job, and they're like, "You want me to do?" So then it stops producing insulin. And that's where diabetes comes out. And that's how you become insulin resistant.
Diabetes, right. So I just wanted them from you guys to explain. Yeah,
That's
so
right.
you don't want to be resistant, you want to be sensitive.
Sensitive.
Okay.
Your body knows exactly what to do.
Back to the
So
thing.
far,
Back
we
to
got
the
a couple of supplements. We got beef liver. We got more sweet potatoes and complex carbs, and then keep going.
And then going back to when you are on a low carb or carnivore or keto diet, it's going to be low carb.
Yeah.
So often, that leads to lower insulin sensitive, which is a good thing, but that results in water and electrolyte loss. So you have to make sure that you're adding a little bit of electrolytes to your water, especially in the mornings, and then drink more water throughout the day.
Okay.
Because since you're in a low carb diet, you just want to make sure that you are keeping your electrolytes and make the hematocrit just more runny and not as thick.
Electrolytes, just a pinch of salt,
I would
Celtic
say
salt, or
a
what?
pinch of, a pinch of sea salt and lemon in the morning, all throughout the day. And then another thing that you can do just at the beginning, because of the hematocrit already that came back a little elevated, is LMNT, which is sold in Amazon. But you put it in a 32 to 40 ounce of water, and you drink that whole thing through the day.
My favorite is Relight, but
Relight is
Relight.
better. Element is a little.
Saltier.
It's so salty.
But make sure you have it in like 30 ounce and you drink it over the course of an hour.
Element, if you want to,
You just keep on.
We can work on
We'll
it.
talk to you,
but-
yeah.
but
You just
for
do
sure.
one scoop, and then you just keep,
Yeah.
just refilling your water.
But that way your body can absorb the minerals and nutrients that it
Well, the way we
provides.
like to say it is carbohydrates acts as a sponge. So when you remove the carbohydrates, you need to have salt to help.
You need to add,
Because
not
we are-
salt,
well,
because the electrolytes is
the
not only
electrolytes.
salt, it's salt, potassium, chloride.
well, we use
It's
the
all the
Celtic
things.
or the Himalayan
So-
salt to help.
The sea salt has minerals.
Right.
So that's why you kind of have the rest
when
of
I
the
say
stuff.
salt, y'all know I don't do table salt. We not talking real Himalayan salt or Celtic salt or sea salt, but it helps to retain some of the fluid so you don't cramp.
and
Correct.
can continue to have
Yeah.
these other things.
Sea
So
salt in the water with some lemon. I can do that. That's
can
easy.
do it.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. All right.
So looking at your blood work, I see 4 opportunities here. Update the operating system, vitamin D. Release some of the pressure from the emergency brake, homocysteine, B complex, and your beef liver
Okay.
once or twice a week.
Okay.
And make sure your smoothie isn't too thick.
You need to
I like it. I like it.
So
And let's support the highway.
okay. So how does that compare? Because we're competitive guys. So how does that compare to a lot of your other clients? And I know you can't give me specifics on any one client, but just generally speaking, is 4 opportunities a lot, a little? I mean, do you have?
That's
clients
actually
that have-
very good because you have 4,
Very good. I like
at least now you know that you have 4 pathways that you need to focus on.
Yeah.
And they are
than
very
having 12 or
easy.
15, right?
Very
That's-
easy, better than
okay.
having 12 to 15.
All right.
Yes,
All
Your
right.
yes.
CRP, your inflammation
Yes.
markers were great. Like,
So, yeah.
Yeah, I can feel the lack of inflammation. My knee doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt anymore. Exactly.
a lot of good
Just
comes
add
out
a
of it.
little bit of
Okay.
carbs,
It
a
kinda
little
went
bit of
to the
more
extreme.
electrolytes and water.
Okay.
And,
Well, I mean, I
and
already
the,
know I'm an extreme eater.
and the
so
3 or 4
I'm okay with
supplements.
that answer.
Yeah. Omega-3s is going to help cardiovascularly. So just bringing an omega-3, I actually added that to your,
Yeah, I
to your
saw
dispensary.
that.
But now you understand why you have to take them.
But it's got to be a good omega 3.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't, it has to be a real good
Well, that's with every
omega-3. We
supplement.
only
We've talked
do,
about that many
yes.
times.
Not
where,
only that, but
90,
the
90
foods.
Yeah.
A lot of these foods are omega 6, but they,
Yeah.
claim it's an omega 3.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
That's why we do real
Yeah.
salmon and none of this farm raised
Yeah.
garbage. So,
Yeah.
but things like that. I'm sorry. Go
Totally
ahead.
You're in
agree.
alignment with
I
those
know,
ladies on that,
I've
so
already,
for
I've
sure.
already jumped across the bridge. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's
Go ahead.
okay. That's
Go.
okay.
Go.
So now is Vince's story.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get Vince.
I have 12 or 13 markers. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was teasing.
So Vince's story was less about the highway and more about the engine.
Okay.
So I like to explain your blood sugar as a car analogy. So the body needs fuel. Glucose is a fuel in the tank. So the goal is to eliminate fuel, or isn't to eliminate fuel. I'm sorry.
What we were just talking about.
Yeah.
The goal is to use it efficiently.
Right.
So one marker that stood out in your blood work was the hemoglobin A1C. The A1C is an average of 3 months. So it tells us a story. The glucose is just 1 day. So
Definitely
basically,
tell you to fast to see how you wake up.
Right.
What are
I
your
don't
markers?
pay attention to the glucose that much. The fasting glucose is just a snapshot of 1 day.
Right.
Now, the A1C is an important one because that's an average of 3 months. So what the A1C tells us and what's happening with the A1C in the last 3 months. So I like to see the A1C as the report card. So your report card suggests that your body may be beginning to struggle with fuel management.
Okay.
So not a crisis, not something to panic about. It's just a sign that the engine isn't running as efficiently as it should.
It's a little high.
So the second area that came or that stood out, it was your
Was
cholesterol.
it over 6?
No.
Yeah. So my A1C was the last time we checked it, because I think it was 5.8, something like that.
Nice. Okay, it's 5.7.
Yeah. So it was 5.8.
Okay.
I have been at that. I've been the pre-diabetic numbers. So my A1C now don't even light up in red when I because I get it every year. I'm a fireman, so I have to do my stuff every year. So so I'm very familiar with that. Okay.
Why is that everybody went
So
down
there's
from that?
just little things that we have to do because one biomarker doesn't work by itself.
Right.
The whole body
Right.
works as a
Hence
team.
LDL.
Just like the LDL, we saw the LDL, everybody panics about the LDL, but then we look at the other stuff and then we saw the homocysteine and we said, oh, okay,
Right.
this is what's going on. So it's not just the LDL. So in your case, the LDL also stood up. So those are the delivery trucks, remember?
Got a lot of trucks. A lot of trucks in my room.
We're going down like, he's a
Yeah.
fireman. This works out.
It works out.
So in your case, I'm asking a different question.
Okay.
So I'm saying, are the cells efficiently using the fuel that is being delivered? So the delivery truck starting to back up because the engine isn't burning fuel as effectively, which is the A1C.
I can go with that.
So that's why I never look at the cholesterol by itself.
Mm-hmm.
So the third area that stood out with you, it was the thyroid function. So one marker that stood out differently than his case, it was that TSH was elevated.
What do you call it now?
So the TSH is the supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
The supervisor's job is to tell the thyroid how hard to work.
Mm-hmm.
If the supervisor is yelling louder and louder, it usually means that the room isn't getting warm enough. So in other words, the brain isn't asking the thyroid to work harder. So what it does is that it actually affects recovery, metabolism, energy, and weight management.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. So another one is back to the homocysteine. So the homocysteine in your case, it came back higher than Drew's.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of calling it the rough road, in your case, it's the road debris.
It's not just rough now, everything's coming up now, it's getting...
So the body creates
Now you're
waste
stuck in the
products that need to be recycled and removed.
Okay.
Normally, nutrients like folate, B12, and B6 help clear the debris.
Mm-hmm.
So once you bring those nutrients into your system, you see that homocysteine dropping. In his case, it's a B complex, beef liver, done.
Okay.
In your case, we have to focus on folate, B12, and B6 to help clear that debris.
Okay.
So when the homocysteine rises, it's like debris building up on the highway.
I'm just gonna stop the trucks.
So the traffic becomes
stop
less
much.
efficient. The cleanup crew cannot keep up. So another marker that stood out
Well, let's
for
go
you.
back to the TSH. What was my
Yes.
TSH?
I got so into the story.
That's
4.6.
okay. So
It's a high, but it's right there.
I have. So for years ago, going back maybe 12 or 13
This
years
is so
ago,
cool. Interesting.
I got, well, probably 15 years ago, I was called into our medical clinic and they were wondering how I was feeling. I'm feeling fine. What happened? So my TSH at that time came back at an 18.9. So I went for years on medication to the highest dose of levothyroxine you can get before they started wanting to do surgery. So all those years I went through, and I felt good one day, felt terrible the next. Synthroid didn't work. I hated all of that. And that's how I actually found keto. Because when I was sitting into the doctor's office and I was looking around and all these 70-year-olds in here dealing with type 2 diabetes being treated, I'm realizing the light came on. I'm like, well, I know how to fix type 2 diabetes. Boom. And so that's how I kind of maneuvered my way into keto. I stopped on my birthday that year, which is the end of the year, December 28th. I stopped taking all medication, all of it, and went keto. Didn't say anything to the doctors. And I came back in and it was 7.9. And they were like, oh my God, it went back up, because on the medication, it was down in the 3s. When I got back up to 7, I said, no, 6.65 or something like that. And they was losing it. They was like, it's going back up. The medicine is not working. I'm like, the medicine is not in me. And I did it.
I love that.
And I did that for 4 months. And I told them, I'll be back in 4 months and we'll do it again. And from that point, it's been in the 4s with no medication.
Amazing.
So I did that, and I have felt tremendously better.
Of course.
So that doesn't surprise me, because again, I get these things
But
done.
it's still like a bravo moment that it's going down.
Yes, it's still going down, and I'm still a work in progress. You know.
Yeah.
And once you add some of the nutrients into
Yeah.
your diet, and
I'm
then
also
you
drinking
be
so much.
better shape.
Who said that? Was that Kirsten? Kirsten, did you say something? Sorry, go ahead. Continue. What?
What happened?
I'm an extremist, guys. I do things hard. If I lift heavy. If I eat heavy. You know, and things like that. So I'm when I play 85-15, my 15 is fun, and I go hard. So
that's when but when I'm on my 85, I'm absolutely
You're committed.
right about perfect. So I work real hard so I can play real hard. And
Nice.
so that's really what that comes out to. So, but those things I was telling you about was from years of playing too hard.
Yeah.
You know, because I was
Yeah.
in my low 30s and I was
Of course.
having
Just
the
like
time of my
Priscilla.
life.
Yeah.
But your diet is what made the biggest difference. It wasn't
It was
stopping.
all the diet.
Because
It was
if you
all
just lowered your having fun, it wouldn't have drastically
No.
changed the numbers as big as it did.
I literally had to remove all the carbs out of my diet. And when I did that,
Super cool.
it was 4 months and that thing dropped like a rock. The
Right.
next 4 months, I've never been above 4 or something since then. I have gotten to 3, but on the medicine, I was at like 2.3 or 2.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happens with a lot of these things that I see, that when there is a health crisis, that we do go extreme because now we're like fearful, right? We're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, we don't want to end up that way. We need to do something now. And then we feel that it's working, and it works, but we need to realize a drastic change like that, when you go so extreme, it's temporary.
Mhm.
It should be temporary, those type of diets, where then that's why now we're like, okay, now it's time to add a little bit more carbs.
Right.
So,
I can live with that
and be a little more
Yeah.
balanced.
Right.
So yeah, in the beginning, definitely.
Especially
just like
around
medicine, right?
workouts.
Instead of choosing medicine, you're like, let me go drastic
Right.
and make a difference in my diet.
Well, plus, adding liver for me has been something I've heard about, and I eat it occasionally.
I have
now,
liver in my freezer right now, trying to figure out. I'm like, want to learn how to start making it.
Oh, it's great.
We'll,
Oh, it's
we'll have
great.
to make
Yeah.
that on a show.
We'll have to-
Come over, we'll make it
Oh, yeah.
together.
You're going to make it on the show.
I'm down.
That's
with
so
that.
I already
true.
bought it, and I'm like, it's been sitting
Yeah.
there. I'm
We
like,
like to cook
So
on
good.
camera. We like to eat on camera.
Yes.
So we're okay with that.
Yeah, that's
Get that
super
done.
cool.
Just
Yeah.
give me your address and a day and time, and it's a done deal. I'll bring part of the cow.
oh
I'll
yeah.
bring part
There
of
we
the
go.
cow.
Okay, go ahead.
So
I
another
just wanted to clear
marker
up
that
the
stood
TSH.
out was the
Yes.
ferritin. And Priscilla, you want to say what's the ferritin?
Ferritin.
Oh, sorry.
We're gonna
Ferritin.
learn something.
Yeah, that's new for me.
And you're a firefighter.
Yeah, but
And I
never
call
heard that.
ferritin the smoke detector.
Okay.
So you're at 549, pretty high.
What is that?
So that's where she's gonna explain the
So
fire.
go through the actual
I
just
don't-
levels.
Oh, 30 to 400. So 400 is like the maximum.
Okay, so
before it
400.
tears.
So I'm at 550. So
So the ferritin is just a signal of this inflammation or oxidative stress rather than simply iron storage. Ferritin is an iron biomarker,
yeah.
but it doesn't have anything. I mean, it does and it does, and in your case, it doesn't really have anything to do with iron storage. It's more of this inflammation or oxidative stress. I see it more as oxidative stress because of the other markers that we discussed.
Okay.
So the reality is that the goal is not to silence the alarm. It's more about why is the alarm ringing.
Okay.
So fixing everything else.
So looking at the vitamin D, your vitamin D is low.
Wow.
So we
I'm
need
not
to
expecting
supplement.
that.
butt cheeks aren't out.
My butt.
I need butt cheeks all
I
the
am
time.
I am playing golf 3 days a week. in the
Wow,
sun.
amazing.
And
23.
that is amazing.
Okay.
That my vitamin D is low.
Vitamin D is low.
Interesting.
We want it around 70, 80.
50
is
to
interesting.
70, 50 to.
Optimal. These are optimal numbers.
Yeah,
that we're
yeah.
looking
What were our vitamin D numbers? So
In the 20s.
In the 20s. So really low, like ridiculous.
Like really low, like chronically low.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I used to be like 18.
The good thing is
Very
that
interesting.
once vitamin D improves,
Yeah.
the system, because
heard that.
everything works together, it actually improves
Right.
a lot of the other stuff.
Yeah. Dr. Berg, who's big on that,
Yes.
talks D3K2 all the time.
D3K2.
And you know, there's some people that, like my husband, you need A. It's really interesting. Everyone's different.
I do too.
But my
I
my
need
husband, they
A
need
to
A.
bring up my D.
And mine is fine. And you
Yeah.
notice because after taking it
Right.
and you retest and you're like, why has this not gone up?
Right.
And that's where you realize, oh wow, I need the A.
Mhm.
Like mine goes up with a K, with a K too.
So once we bring in some of those nutrients and less stress for the body, and then you see kind of all the numbers moving. The
I
other
like
one,
numbers that move.
one of the other
Right
ones that
direction.
stood out was your testosterone.
Okay.
The testosterone actually explains, or I'm going to call it the construction foreman.
Okay.
So the foreman doesn't do all the work by himself. So once we bring in all the other stuff that we need and nutrients that the body actually needs, balance the glucose a little bit better, lower the inflammation, bring in the vitamin D, the B, and the function of the thyroid, everything kind of fixes itself. So you see your testosterone kind of going to where it
What
needs
was
to
that
be.
number?
What was that number?
26?
That's low. So we want it between 30 and 85.
Whoa, wait. 26?
Of the dehydrotestosterone, and then the testosterone itself
Oh, okay.
is 287.
Okay, but that's low for me.
That's
That's
total.
low.
That's low for
You
me.
want it about
24.
Normally
700.
I'm in the at least 380s.
So 286 is low.
Yeah.
That's
low.
the one that we're looking at, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So vitamin D, homocysteine with the B vitamins, bringing in some beef liver, the same. That would actually help with your metabolic health. And it will start kind of moving
And clear up those
everything
roads.
to the right direction.
Okay.
Now, one thing for the two of you, actually for everybody that's listening, one thing that we have to do is bring in more fiber-rich vegetables. So the fiber, actually, I call it the broom. Priscilla laughs every time I call it the broom. I tell her kids. The daily fiber helps excess cholesterol, remove excess cholesterol, waste products, toxins out of the digestive tract.
Well,
So
so you
it's
need it to go
really-
number 2, right? Because it helps bind everything, all the waste. It helps bind it all, and then with enough hydration, helps move it all out. So it's not sitting. in
Use
your
the
gut.
broom. So bringing some vegetables
Fiber-rich.
into the diet. Second, some of the cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, or kale, and that's gonna help the liver maintenance to detox. Instead of just going out and getting all these crazy detoxes that everybody's doing, not even knowing if they actually need a liver detox, just eat your cruciferous vegetables. And the cruciferous vegetables helps with detoxing.
If you cook those in bacon fat, they taste amazing.
Yeah.
But don't they have a negative effect on your thyroid?
No, the cruciferous vegetables.
Yeah.
If you are
Again, she's not saying to
Intolerant.
eat this day in and day out.
Yes. Well,
Right? We
I
want
was just asking because I mean I know that was part of the balance that I was dealing with during that time period. I know beets was really good for it, but a lot of the cruciferous vegetables.
so bring in the arugula
Against
and the beets
Yes.
and the some other
Yeah,
ones that are going to give you the
red
fiber.
vegetables Were
purple ones
recommended.
with
Red and purple
anesthetic.
were recommended as opposed to the greens.
As opposed to the greens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the deeper red,
Yeah,
the better, and same with the deeper green. Yeah.
yeah.
But all
But
the colors.
With kale, I would always suggest to cook them because they're too raw
I
and
ain't
too
eating it.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're
ain't
so
eating it.
good.
You don't
with
have
kale.
to. Just have
Oh,
broccoli.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the worst. food.
Yeah, that's the
I ain't
worst.
eating it.
My husband used to hate it.
I
ain't
agree.
eating it.
But it's
Yeah.
one of the hardest vegetables to digest, so it's not for
It's
everyone.
very difficult to
It's not for
digest.
everybody.
Give it to the
Sprouts are
cows.
great,
Give it to
though.
the cows.
Well, he might know this already, but do you know who the biggest buyer of kale was before it went mainstream?
Oh,
And
geez, who?
do you know this?
No.
So Pizza Hut was the biggest buyer of kale because remember they had the salad bar. That was all kale.
That's
around
true.
it. That was what kale was used for before they started telling you it was healthy.
Oh,
It's pretty to
wow.
look at, but
Yeah,
I'm not. I ain't eating it.
I'll eat spinach. I'll eat broccoli.
I'll
I'll
eat
eat
spinach.
Brussels sprouts. Do not
Brussels
give me
sprouts
kale.
are
I'm
Yeah.
out. I'm out.
Kale
on
is super hard to digest.
Yes.
I mean, remember that we used to
Super,
use it as
super hard to chew.
decoration on the plates.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
you're saying. That's
Yeah.
horrible.
That's not
Yeah.
for me.
Or
I
give
mean,
it to
I make-
give it to the cows.
I make collard
Yeah,
greens.
that's right. That's the food
Actually, they
our
need
food-
it. That's the food that you
our
need.
Food eats is what
Yeah.
kale is. Yes.
Yeah. I make a pot of collard greens and we'll
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
I mean,
God.
God, I love collard
This
greens.
guy's better off.
Collard
There
greens
you
is
go.
so good.
I got you.
Raw with a lot of
I
garlic.
love, yeah, with a lot of garlic and olive
I don't
oil.
do broccoli raw.
Oh, yeah, I
Well,
love
see,
it.
garlic and onion for us
Yeah.
on carnivore.
Yeah.
That's seasoning.
That's
that
seasoning.
doesn't
That's
count.
seasoning.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just flavor.
Oh,
that's
so
it.
good.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I had a moment.
the biggest
What
takeaway
does your
today.
diet consist of? Is it similar to the
Very
keto?
similar.
Okay.
Very similar.
But you see how different the bodies
yeah.
We also have different blood types, which I think we touched on before. The book "Eat Right for Your Type." We talk about it on the show sometimes.
And you have different stressors, different lives, different genetics.
Yeah.
And this is where bioindividuality matters so much, that personalization piece, because it's like, especially as women, we want to match what everyone else is doing to look a certain way, and it's like it's not going to work for you. It's
definitely
we promote to our clients a balanced diet. Just don't stay away and don't deprive yourself from any foods. Just have the protein always first. Protein, fiber. Fiber is part of the carbs. You know, carbs and fat. And what type of fat are you having? You can have the olive oil, or you can just have the fat from the actual meats.
So are the majority of your clients people like us that are kind of on our health journey already and we're getting healthier? Or is it somebody who's eating the sad diet like I was 2.5 years ago?
Everything.
And it's a mix.
It's a mix.
The majority of them are already following.
But the majority are already following
a healthy diet.
A healthy diet.
Okay.
And they need guidance because they're like, it's just not working. I work out. I eat well. I take my supplements. I did detox. I don't understand. And
psyllium husk.
Yeah, I love
psyllium husk is fiber.
So psyllium husk is fiber.
I start every morning with
that's what I would do because I'm not a big vegetable guy. I'm just not. And they're horrible. But I will take the psyllium husk. I got no issue with that. So I will commit to adding more of that in my program.
Garden of Life, actually based here in Boca Raton, they have a green powder that's actually really good. You can just have one serving every single day and you get the fiber for the day.
Yes. Where do you buy your sweet potatoes from? Because that stuff in the grocery store.
I love it in Sprouts. I love the ones from Sprouts.
I will say Aldi, they're this small.
Yes.
I love the small ones.
They're real sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
They're this small.
Yes.
I couldn't believe it. I went there, I was like, I came home, I was like, babe, we're
organic.
only buying sweet potato from Aldi.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, that's why I asked the question, because not every grocery store is equal, obviously.
Yeah.
That's why I asked the question.
And I like Sprouts because they have all different types.
We tell
So I can get the purple and the white and the orange and regular sweet potato. So I get kind of a mixture of all of them.
We tell clients to eat a sweet potato and we have to like constantly tell them only a third, only a quarter, because they're like this ginormous. And then when I went to Aldi, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Literally this small.
And what's the philosophy on only eating the complex carbs like before 2 o'clock or stuff like that, not too close to bedtime? And is that something you guys talk about?
No, not really.
Doesn't really.
No.
Okay.
But I will say, when you do wear glucose, a continuous glucose monitor, you have real live data into how your body responds to glucose, right? That sits in your bloodstream.
Right.
Then that's where we can tailor where, hey, you cannot have this at night because it drops it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people,
or you need to add carbs at night
because So like for me, mine would drop.
Okay.
Some people they were just without. So you start learning about your body.
Right.
But again, it goes back to personalization. Everyone handles stressors differently. Everyone handles all these. Their body just works.
Foods differently.
Yeah. I mean,
you can get very gassy with cruciferous vegetables, and he may not. Yeah. All vegetables. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
But it's
so the
fun,
best way is just to have it.
Yeah, but so I'm good with that.
And don't make the smoothie too thick.
Don't make the smoothie too thick. And so he had the thick blood. I had regular blood. Right. So my blood wasn't as thick. That's crazy. Okay, but that's the interesting part of what we agreed to do this for.
Yes.
Because to show our audience, hey, look, this is where, if you want to get a real snapshot of what it is you want to do. I mean, like right now, they got a lot of people, a lot of these places that's offering the methylation program and doing basically what you're doing, taking the blood and curtailing your vitamins and minerals or supplementation to these programs. And so I just do this because we like to encourage our people to get up and do something. Get off the couch and move. So once you start doing that and you hit a sticking point, go find help. And this is the type of help you can get that will help kickstart you so you can not get stuck into that plateau. You know, plateaus suck. I don't care if you're weightlifting or running. When you get to the point where you can't go any further, it's frustrating. You want to be able to go further. So that's why we did this.
I have a fun tip that we give all our clients. And now my kids mess with me with it. But after every meal, especially that your glucose and your A1C, you're trying to get it down, do 20 squats. Forget the walk. The walk takes 20 minutes. Just do 20 squats.
Yeah.
Deep, slow.
It's
squats.
crazy how it drops.
It
And you
drops.
see it with a glucose
It's
monitor.
amazing. Now my son, such a smarty pants, he's 5 years old. He ate a pizza and he didn't want to eat the chicken. And I was like, hey, you're supposed to eat your vegetable, your chicken, and if you're going to have carbs, this is just carb and fat. He goes, it's okay, mommy. I'm going to make sure to run right after to get rid of the glucose. I'm like,
My man.
you little smarty pants. He's like, it's okay.
The other reason that
He's a future fireman.
The other reason I was excited to come here and do this and give the blood and do everything and go through your program is because there's so many garbage supplements out there.
Yes.
And I know, I mean, we talked with Mercedes and Eric at my showroom.
She's
at the
heavily,
Twin Cave.
you heard all the things that she was talking about.
Well,
She's
yeah, I
heavily
mean, I'm
certified.
glad Eric was there because if she was asking me those questions about our sponsor, I'd been like, I have no clue how to answer any of these.
Right.
So I even called Eric and I'm like, dude, I'm glad you were there because if they were asking me those questions, I'd have been like, I just ate steak. I don't know anything.
Lost in space.
Right. So, but no, I mean, you talked about
Yeah.
the testing, you talked about the verification. Obviously, you have hundreds or thousands of clients that are taking the supplements that you ladies recommend.
We only
So I
work
know
with
I'm-
third-party verified.
Well, and then
companies.
I know I'm not, like, I'll give you an example. I won a basket of supplements at an event at the Knicks camp gala.
Oh, cute.
And, so I bid whatever it was. Nobody bid on it, so I was like, oh, I can get it for way less. And I took the multivitamins, and all they did was turn my urine bright yellow, like neon yellow. So I know I'm not getting any value out of
Yeah.
it. And it's from an allegedly reputable company that
Yes.
does lots of testing. And I don't know about it. And, they had D and K
Yeah.
and ashwagandha in there
Yeah.
and some other stuff, but I have no clue.
Yeah.
That's the problem with combination vitamins, though,
Yeah.
because it's not curtailed to you.
Yeah.
It's literally, hey, this is the median line what we think everybody should take,
Right.
and so
Yeah.
for your body it was too much because you didn't do nothing but pee it out.
Right.
You know,
And a lot of them are bioavailable to your body
Yes.
differently.
Yes.
Some, like vitamin C, is taken better on empty stomach, right? Vitamin D3, you need to have it with a meal.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, and that look, I do like the D3 and the K2 idea because again, when I was doing it well, and it's been a few years ago when my markers were indicating it, I was up to 10,000, 15,000 IU a day of that just because of my size, because me and him, we're twins. I'm a little bit bigger.
A little bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
A
So
little bit.
I had to take more of those.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know why I stopped because I felt great
yeah.
using that D3 and K2, and I can't even remember the name of the one that I bought.
I did 20K once. I was wired. I'm like,
Yeah,
what is wrong with me?
yeah.
I have so much energy.
It's crazy.
She's like, you need to reduce that or take it up 7 times in the day.
So I will
I
definitely.
mean, you also
put that
weigh
back
less
into-
than a third.
Yeah, I'm
of-
120.
Less than a third of Vince's body
Yeah,
weight
and I
too.
think-
So
Oh, I was
And
wired.
I think we did. I've done up to 20 something. But again, during that time, I don't know why I stopped. That's the problem with me. Or most of us, you get to go. Gym owners, they love it because people sign up in Christmas and New Year's.
Yes.
And they go January and February. After that, the rest of the year, they're just paying. And, but that's the way it really works. So
Yeah.
it's the same way with nutrition, especially the moment you start seeing any results, you give yourself
You back
a break.
up. Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm feeling good. And
Yeah.
the pants feel better, and as opposed to saying that's the time to step on the gas
Yeah.
so we can get those trucks on the road.
So we can get
Yeah,
those
look
trucks
at
on the
it.
Put
road.
more stuff in there and it goes
And don't allow
smooth.
anybody to.
But
Yeah, we don't want nobody to pull that
focus
ego.
To pull
on.
that,
We
right.
teach our clients, this is not, majority of them come to us for weight loss, but then they start realizing, especially when we go over their labs, they're like, wow, there's a lot happening. And a lot of them
Let's
start
just
crying.
forget about the weight loss and let's focus about
Yeah, the weight
optimizing
comes off
and getting you
naturally.
healthier.
Because
And it happens
Your
naturally.
body will get rid of it. And our clients, they stay with us for a year plus because they start realizing, wow, okay, I need to maintain this. I need to learn how to eat. Like we focus on a habit-based approach. So we teach them how to eat. So that way when they travel, they don't come back 15 pounds heavier.
Right.
They know how to take care of themselves.
Well, tell us a little bit about the technology that you use to keep the continuous coaching going as well, because you have your own app.
Yeah.
that I haven't been on yet, but tell us about how that works.
Yeah, so the Get Nourishment app, we have a 12-month program in there, and after that, they become maintenance clients. And during those 12 months, we have a goal for each month and a habit each week. And these habits are to be stacked upon each other. So one of the biggest habits that we'll give away now, that's the easiest one for everyone, is as soon as you wake up, have a tall glass of water. Literally, you wake up, before you brush your teeth,
And it just reminds you.
whatever, just as
I
long.
agree.
A lot of,
And believe it
we're
or
finding
not,
out
nobody's
so many
doing
people
that.
are working out on no hydration,
Right.
no food, like nothing. I'm like, how do you expect your body to work out?
I train fasting, but I do
No,
but I have
I was like, what?
no.
I train
But you
fasting,
have your-
but I do have water.
At least have water.
Well, so that was going to be my next thing because I'm really solid with fasting. What's your idea about fasting? Short-term fasting, intermittent fasting, alternate day. Do you guys recommend that at all?
In short, for a case of time, for men, 14 to 16 hours, right? Dinner to breakfast,
Mhm.
and women, 12 to 14 hours. 12 hours is ideal
Just
for
to
women.
keep the hormones
Because
nicely
especially
working.
for women.
And if you
Yeah.
go by
Men-
24 hours, do that as a temporary fix.
Now, for
Like
the
1 day,
long-term
2 days.
fast, like the intermittent, what happens with that, it's great for short term because it helps your body go into
Yeah, good
autophagy, which
reset.
is clean house.
Yeah.
That's autophagy. That's what happens at night. So if your body's working properly, you really don't need to do those because at night, that's what it happens.
Yes.
But when your body's not healthy, it cannot focus on cleaning up. So when you do those long hour fasts, they're great short term. It's when you start doing them for too long, your body will start eating away at its muscle. And we
True.
don't want that to happen. And that's why you need to look at your life, especially if you're going to be fasting that long, like the 20 hours and things like that.
Or the 72 hours. Or the week. You know,
Or the
I've
week.
done 3 days, 7 days, 10 days. And
We love 24-hour
it
fasts.
feels like
But then you get
Lunch to
back
lunch?
to
yeah, you go
eating
back
normal.
To, go back
Yeah.
to a normal.
Yeah, which is great.
normal.
Healthy
Not-
normal. Yes.
But that's the thing with the
'Cause if you don't-
23-hour fast. You know what
Yes.
happens in that hour?
Oh man.
They eat like 3,000 calories
Yeah.
of junk.
But you don't really need to, and that's, the bad
problem.
part about it. Even
Because
if
they
you-
feel that I can eat
if
anything.
you're doing
Yeah.
1 meal a day and let's say your maintenance is 2,400 calories. If you're only eating 1 meal, you can actually get away with 18 and being in that deficit.
Yeah, it's easier for you to do 18
Yes.
and not for us women to do 18.
Well, you better not.
Because
have a
we have
maintenance.
so many
You better not have a
hormones.
2,400.
We have to deal with a
maintenance.
lot of hormones. Yeah.
So again, but I will go back and double back even into my labs and to my fellow shift workers, firemen, cops, and nurses. Testosterone is going to be lower because of our sleep schedule.
Because of the sleep schedule.
So that's a problem.
Yes.
And so address that as far as that part, because that's something we really don't have any control over, during that time period. So I don't know how my sleep schedule was for the week or two before I took that test, because I haven't seen a number that low in a few years. But at the same time, I know that that's a problem, is the lack of sleep, because we don't get a chance to, you waking up at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, whatever the case may be, when you got to get out there and do it. Shift workers that work overnight have a lower testosterone level just because we're supposed to eat with the sun and
With
all
the
that
sun
and stuff
and-
like that. And so cops and firemen and nurses and correction people, I'm just using those, but there are other shift workers that have that problem. I think that, and you help me out here, but I'm thinking that something like this is even more important for people who have that kind of shift schedule, as opposed to just throwing darts up against the wall.
That's where diet really
Yeah.
comes in.
Make the room as dark as possible for the hours that you're going to sleep. Make sure that you're sleeping about 7 hours when you get back from working overnight, which is impossible to happen.
When it's possible,
And
but-
kind of your circadian rhythm is a little bit upside down.
Yes.
But if you keep up with making the room as cold as possible, making it as dark as possible, you kind of retrain your body
I turn off
to
my
do it
phone.
that way.
Which,
Yeah.
the blue light is horrible.
Yeah.
Like the Wi-Fi, the cellular
yeah.
data, I turn it
Yeah.
off. And I've actually slept better since I've done that.
At what
Okay.
Crazy.
at what point, if there is one, because Vince and I had a little bit of a spirited debate on a previous episode about GLP-1s, GLP-3s, and other peptides. So at what point is someone's health, because you didn't recommend any of that to us. So at what point is someone's health so off that you start recommending those, if there is a point?
So I would say depending on the goals that you have,
Okay.
depending on the body composition, and depending on a lot of different factors, we will recommend through our medical director program, the GLP-1 with GIP, just to kind of activate those pathways, but not to do it at the point where you are suppressing your appetite, which I find it very ridiculous.
All our clients on
because
it eat 4 meals a day.
if you
doses
lose
are too high.
too high, if you lose weight, if you are in one of those that is actually balancing your glucose, basically that's what it does. It balances your glucose, and it kind of kills a little bit the noise in the brain of the sugar cravings.
Hormone, which is a hunger hormone.
Right. Then your body works efficiently actually with it. For as long as you're doing it, and you're not using it as a real weight loss, you're using it more as an optimization peptide, just to activate some of the pathways that are being turned off for a while. But then you got to stick to whole foods, protein first, make sure you're working out. You kind of do everything that you guys are already doing.
Sure.
But then you just bring it as let's just give it a little boost to the body, just to allow you to do that. But don't take, doses where you're not going to be eating. I find it very ridiculous when I go with some of my girlfriends and they are just not eating, and I'm like, what's going on? Oh, I'm on the GLP-1. And do you think this is normal? That you're sitting here and I'm the only one eating and you're not eating? This is not normal.
The weight
it's going to snap
That's why everyone's like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, get the Brian Seacrest.
Yeah. So no, if you use it for support, it's great.
Oh yeah, no.
Because they eat away their muscle.
And
The
you can
muscle is
touch-
what keeps you young.
Yeah, that keeps you right to the bones.
It actually,
it's
on
terrible.
low doses or microdosing, it actually helps with bringing down inflammation, balancing glucose,
Of course, it's not a
and doing
forever thing. It's
cardiovascular
just
health.
balance.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we do
But-
other peptides outside of that, which my favorite is like the Semaxolink, because as a busy mom, it helps me just focus.
Yeah.
Because I don't stop. I have
Yeah.
I have 1,000 tabs open. So the Semaxolink is amazing for me. But yeah, we do have other ones. Like my husband loves the BPC because it helps with recovery.
I love BPC.
I will say,
And TB
when I
500.
tried that, I remember I did CrossFit and it took me like 4 or 5 days to recover. On BPC on the Wolverine, within 2-3 days, I was like, oh, I'm ready for more.
Yeah.
And I'm stronger because now your muscle fibers can heal faster and better.
Those are my favorite. Followed very closely by hereditary time.
Yeah.
So, but the BPC, I'm like he said, we had a spirited discussion about it for our audience here. But I believe in stuff. Again, I come from the old school, 80s bodybuilding world where things were pushed to a lot of limits. You did a lot of things back then. But it was a lot of, it was mostly about the food though, eating, but now we may have eaten to excess, where you might only needed 200 grams of protein, you were doing 600 grams of protein. It could get a little excessive, but
It's hard.
the right supplementation or the right GLPs at that point, or these things. And the real problem that we had as far as the discussion is because I'm like, look, if you got somebody that's morbidly obese, and I say get that weight off as fast as you can, the best way you can, while we're learning how to keep it off.
Yes.
Because again, that's a process. You're gonna die. So you either want to die from a shotgun blast or a BB gun. Shoot me with the BB gun. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take that, get the weight off, so I can experience how good life is moving around.
Moving
That's
around.
where we have the biggest disconnect. We forget that there's more to life than just food, and food keeps winning.
Because we get bored.
It's like there's so many things. As we get older, I see it in so many people. As you get older, then you don't get to enjoy life the way you would like to.
That's the magic. Strength and flexibility are probably the biggest thing. And as far as you always know, I talk about women, leg strength and protein. Most women undereat protein so drastically. It makes me mad.
I know when they snack, it's carbs. I mean, I was a culprit of that.
They snack because it's carbs, because the TV told you that it was good.
Yes.
TV said, well, this is
Or
a
low
good,
fat.
healthy snack.
Or zero fat.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
The TV, man. Look.
Worst.
Anyway, we
They're
know
worse.
that is horrible. I'm glad you guys addressed those things because these are real life problems out here.
Yes.
And so again, I'm glad we did this. And again, we're as transparent as could possibly be. You know, now you know what we look like on the inside.
I get to go eat beef liver now. Right after I leave here, I gotta go find some place to buy some beef liver until my half a cow gets.
Yeah.
Nah, that's good stuff. Though I really enjoy that. So
Beef liver is so
what
good.
would you like to say to the audience in general as far as why something like this is necessary? How often should they? I know you said they usually be a client for a year and they become maintenance after that. What age should they start? You know, tell us about that.
Our youngest is in their 20s and our oldest is 83.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the 83-year-old look like? I bet they're in great shape.
I think he's playing golf, right? You said,
Yes.
You said
He's playing golf.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it all.
He was told he couldn't play golf anymore, and now he is.
I know. He was literally told.
What idiot told him that?
Well, his health was in really bad shape.
I'm just.
It's nothing to me.
He was literally told, just stay at home. You're 83 years old. You really don't need to go out there.
Die slow.
And he was just doing the party. And then we came in and we were like, dude, you have inflammation in your system. So let's just take care of that. Bring in the nutrients. Eat more protein. Eat more protein.
You lose 8 to 10% of muscle mass naturally without anything. Every decade, every 10 years.
Yeah.
He
So
literally,
if you're not working out, muscle building, if you're not replenishing those muscles with protein, it's just going to keep declining.
Yeah.
And that's why you turn 60, 70 and you're like, well, I used to be able to do things. You can't do those things anymore because you stopped exercising. You stopped eating enough protein.
Yeah, he was telling me. So he actually is an optometrist. All his friends are doctors. So it was kind of hard to go over, some of his biomarkers. But I explained it the way I did to you guys. And then he was like, wow, this makes sense. The analogy makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually brought in the supplements, prioritized protein. So he said, what am I going to do when I go out with my friends to the Italian restaurant? And I said, ask for the protein and have a little bit of carbs on the side. He goes, well, we go there and all we have is this plate full of pasta. I said, nothing wrong with that. Just have it on the side. By the time you finish this protein, you're probably not going to have the whole thing.
I feel like that has been said by Vince before 100 times. Yeah, I feel like I've heard that.
And feel good with your friends.
All your protein off your
And
plate.
vegetables.
Eat all your protein off your
Eat
plate.
whatever vegetables you
Whatever
have,
ve-
and whatever's left over.
And if you want,
Go for
eat
it.
a little bit of that pasta to make your friends happy that you still order the spaghetti. Yeah.
We do
Yeah.
fruit.
I'm a fruit man. So
Yeah, me too. I
that's
love
also
fruits.
where the
My kids have fruit in
too.
every meal.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I get.
More berries.
You're gonna say my fiber. that's
With the
what that's
beef,
gonna be.
more berries.
Yes.
It's an antioxidant and it helps kill the bad of the meat.
All
There's a
right.
lot of good in it, but then it could be a
Well,
lot
I
of
got
bad.
a lot more variety in my diet today, so that's
Yeah.
cool.
More berries.
My wife will be very happy.
Variety is very
Remember, we learned
Our big brother Ed will be very happy
Very
when
happy.
he comes over for dinner. He'll get sides again. So
Yeah.
okay.
Side dish.
Just keep
At
it
night,
portion.
my kids' fruit is always blueberries. Always
Okay.
organic blueberries.
Yeah. I
Where do you buy your blueberries?
I think Fresh
Blackberries,
Market.
raspberries.
Fresh Market.
And Costco has
But
organic.
Costco has organic. Aldi's organic. So
Those organic because the skin is very thin,
And
so
then
it's
what about
pretty
washing
easy.
them? Do you wash them in baking soda
Vinegar.
and vinegar, or
Just vinegar.
Vinegar.
And I let
okay.
it sit for like 5-10 minutes.
yeah, there it is. Now y'all getting a free lesson.
Hell yeah, man, that was the whole idea. That's why we
Educate.
gave 12 vials of blood, bro.
Well, to your
give
question-
our people 3
Listen.
lessons.
To your question earlier, since we're closing out, we do start with a 4-month program. I feel like that's like a nice sweet spot to get started before committing to 12 months.
Right.
And then from there, just depending on your goals, whether it's just to get healthy or, balance everything out or even lose weight, 4 months is like the sweet spot. You really end up gaining a lot from it. Good stuff, not weight.
Yeah.
And so like one of our clients, she lost 7 pounds in 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Amazing. But eating all the time.
Yeah.
So
She
it's
wasn't
just-
eating enough.
So it's really
Undefeated.
and
It's
not
a
the
problem.
right way.
Right.
So we start with that. We teach you how to eat, and then of course we personalize it to you.
Pretty cool stuff. And I already got the link with the supplement recommendation.
You actually did that already.
Oh yeah, because we talked.
To both.
And I was
Yeah, I
like,
saw it.
and then there was a little miscommunication where we thought we wanted to go over the
I
blood
know.
work before, and I'm like, no.
No.
Like, even
Surprised me.
Do it else.
Priscilla sent it to me, but I swear, give me a Bible, I'll swear right on it. I emailed it to my wife because she was curious,
Right.
because she's a nurse, and I was like, "Look, don't talk to me until Tuesday at like 1:00
Yeah.
when we're done. When we're done going with the real health coaches."
This is again for somebody like me who has been in this space for a long time on both sides.
I didn't realize
On the healthy side, on the good side, I was a trainer for years. Then I went crazy on my own. Life started lifing, and so I wound up hurting myself. Yeah. So basically, what happens too with a lot of former athletes is we eat like that from high school through college because you're playing, you're burning thousands and thousands of calories. But then when you're not playing,
you continue
to eat that way. And you can almost get away with it into your 20s and even to your early 30s. And then the body says,
and then it's like, hey,
it's too late. But by then, now you've created a habit.
Yeah.
You're eating 5-6 times a day. Don't be surprised that 1 or 2 of them might be a junk meal that you picked up in the drive-through. So your body started to change as your energy expenditure dropped. And so you weren't burning the way it is. So you had to break those habits. And that's what happened to me and to a lot of my friends and to a lot of people I know that especially were, athletes early, is just adapting to that new way of life. So, it's never too late to come back and to optimize it. I tell them every time with my 100th birthday, I'm doing 100 squats and 100 push-ups on my 100th birthday.
Oh, so I love that.
I'm doing that.
That's going to happen.
Yes.
So, and that's how I'm going to celebrate my 100th birthday. So these are the ways that we got to continue to start getting up and moving.
Yeah.
I think women underutilize strength training.
Yes.
Throw away them little 2-pound weights. They don't do a damn thing for you. But either way, we'll
throw them
away. Put them on some paper. That's it, man. Pick up something heavy. Challenge yourself. Jump training, especially for women. You need to have your bones. I'm on the wrong podcast now. So,
all right.
But anyway, so tell them how they can reach you guys.
Yes, please. How do they come? How do they get more information and book an appointment with you?
Yeah, so you can find us at Instagram or Facebook on Get.Nourishment and just DM us there, or you can go to our website, getnourishment.com, and just click the button and you'll fill out a quick intake form, about 2 minutes long, and then from there you'll schedule your free your discovery call with us, complimentary.
There you go.
Yeah.
So talk to these ladies. Be like the podcast twins and get healthier.
That's it. That's what so we'll report back.
Yes.
We're gonna take some recommendations.
I gotta get the glucometer.
Glucose monitor. But don't do it without our support, because if you do it by yourself, you'll start taking out foods without knowing how to eat them properly. You don't want to eliminate
so
foods.
You're gonna have a little thing on the back of your arm, man.
You want to get your
little thing on the arm there. So either way, man, we want to thank you ladies once again for
coming
away some of
you.
your time
So fun.
and helping us out. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves here while you gave everybody some really, really tremendous information. And again, so we want to thank you. I want to thank you guys for being here and remind you once again, reach down there and click that little subscribe button, hit the little icon, the bell icon, so you get the idea whenever we have a bright idea. And make sure you support us over there. Check the website because that's where all of our social media can be found.
There you go.
And Drew,
I tell you what, you know what? Thank you, Priscilla and Mercedes
Thank
from
you.
Get Nourishment. Go to getnourishment.com.
You mean the analogy queen?
Yes, and the analogy queen Mercedes. So with that being said,
Well, I want to say one thing.
Oh, please.
So, blood work gives us the clues, and nutrition gives us the tools.
ooh, look at that.
T-shirt. T-shirt.
That's it. Podcast twins are out.
Peace.
Yeah.